Okay, hey there. I'm just going to go over those problems that you asked about in section 11.2, and I'm going to start here with problem 4C, where it says calculate the monthly finance charge for the credit card transaction. Assume that it takes 10 days for a payment to be received and recorded, and that the month is 30 days long. And for C, it's asking us to use the average daily balance method. So what we do for the average daily balance method is that we take a specific balance and we multiply it by the number of days that balance is basically current. And then if a payment is made that changes the balance, and we multiply the new balance by the number of days that that balance is current. So when it says assume that it takes 10 days for a payment to be received and recorded, that basically means that on the 10th of the month, that's when the payment is recorded, and the month is 30 days long, right? So at the beginning of the month, the balance is $500. So we've got 500. Sorry. Okay. And that balance is in effect for 10 days. So I'm going to multiply that by 10. And then 10 days into the month, a payment is made, and that payment is $50. And so that reduces the balance to $450 when that payment is made. Okay. And that balance is in effect for the rest of the month, which is 20 days. So I multiply that by 20. Okay. And I add these together, and I divide by the total number of days in the billing period, which is the full month, which is 30. Not sure what's wrong with my pen. Let me see if I can figure this out here. Drawing tool. Maybe a finer tipped pen. Okay. So when I work this out, that works out to be, you work that out on your calculator, $466.67. Okay. And we treat this as the principal when we're calculating the interest. This is the average daily balance, and we'll treat that as the principal. So the finance charge, which is the interest, is found by using the simple interest formula, which is P R T. Sorry about the weird lines on my screen there. I'm not sure what is causing that, but I'll try to figure that out later. So the principal is the average daily balance, which is 466.67. The interest rate is given as 15%, 0.15. And then the time, remember the time has to be in years. And with credit cards, we're always assuming 365 days in a year. So I'm going to take the 30 days, and I'm going to divide that by 365. That's going to be my time. And when I work that out on my calculator, I should get $5.75. Okay, that is the finance charge. So that is how the average daily balance method works. And let's see, problem 5, you're actually going to do pretty much exactly the same way, right? You've got a balance of $250. That's good for the first 10 days. Then a $200 payment is made. So the balance is then $50 for the remaining 20 days. And you'll just work it out that way, exactly the same way as problem 4. Okay. Problem 6, C, again, exactly the same, right? This time we're starting with a $3,000 balance, right? And then after 10 days, a $2,500 payment is made, right? So that reduces the balance down to $500. So a $3,000 balance for 10 days, and then a $500 balance for 20 days. And we just apply the exact same method that I did in problem 4. Okay. Problem 7, make a 5% offer on a Ford Escort that has a sticker price of $13,698.78, right? And a dealer cost of $12,862.70. 5% offer basically means an offer that's 5% over the dealer cost, right? There was a similar example to this in the book, but it's actually pretty simple. You just take the dealer cost and then you add to that 5% of the dealer cost. And the easiest way to do that would be to just say 12, 8, 6, 2, 0.70, and that gets multiplied by 1 plus 0.05. Okay, and the 1 plus 0.05 is what is the 5% increase. If you work that out on your calculator, you should verify this, but it should come out to be 13,506. Okay. So that's all there is to that one. That's all they're asking for is how to find that. Okay. Let's see. Moving on to 10B. Okay. So we have a car. Says that the car can be purchased for 0% down for 60 months. So it's 0% in lieu of the rebate, or says that it has the sticker price of $62,580, dealer rebates of $6,000, right? So what we want to do is find the monthly payment if it's financed at 2.5% add-on interest for 60 months. Okay, let's make some room here. Sorry, get my drawing tool to work. Not sure why it's not working. Okay. All right, let's keep doing the best we can here. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. So first of all, we have to find the amount that is being financed. The amount that's being financed will be the sticker price minus the rebates, okay? So that is 62580 minus the rebates, which are $6,000. Okay, so the amount of money you're actually borrowing is going to be $56,580. Okay, then we have to figure out the amount of interest that you'll owe. And this is, we just use the simple interest formula. So 60 months is a total of 5 years, right? Since there's 12 months in a year. So using the simple interest formula, okay, the principal is the amount being borrowed, which is the 56580. Okay. The interest rate given in the problem is 2.5%. Okay. And the time, remember with simple interest, the time always has to be in units of years. it's 60 months, but in units of years, that would be 5 years. So we put 5 in for t. And this works out to be 7072.5, 50 cents. Okay. So that is the interest, which means the total amount that you would have to pay back on the loan would be the principal plus the interest, which is equal to 56580 plus 7072.50. Okay. And that works out to be 63,652.50 cents. Okay. So that's the total amount that you're paying back, right? The principal plus all the interest. And that is going to be paid out over the course of 60 months, 60 equal payments. So to find the size of your payment, we would take this amount and divide it by 60. 6365250 divided by 60 equals a monthly payment size of $1,060 and 88 cents. Okay, so that is how you would do 10B. Looks like we figured out 10C. For part D, basically says state whether the 0% APR or the 2.5% add-on rate would be preferred, right? Keep in mind that the $6,000 rebate, right, can only be used with the 2.5% add-on rate, right? So basically what we need to do is compare the total amount that you're paying, right? If you use the 0% APR, then the total amount you're going to pay is the $62,580, right? If we use the 2.5% add-on rate, the total we'd pay is $63,652.50. So the 0% APR total is a little bit less, right? So that's still a better deal, even though you're foregoing the $6,000 rebate. It's because the amount of interest you're paying is more than $6,000, right? It's just over $7,000. So that's how you would approach that part of the problem. Okay. Where were we? 12. This one's actually relatively simple. A payday loan provides short-term loans ranging from $250 to $2,000. Assume the cost of a loan is $1 per day per $100 borrowed until the loan is repaid. What is the cost of an $850 payday 2-week loan? Okay, so first of all, we got to take the total and divide that into $100 increments, right? Like how many $100 are there in $850, right? So that we just find by taking the total, $850, and dividing by 100. And that is 8.5. Okay. And then what we're told is that the cost is $1 per day, and that's per 2 weeks, right? Per $100 borrowed. So I just take the 8.5 and I multiply that by 1. And I multiply that by the total number of days, which is 14 because it's 2 weeks, right? And that works out to be $119. So that's the total cost of that loan, okay? So that's how you would go about that one. 15. Let's see. You had so a car dealer will sell you a used car for $6,498 with $798 down and payments of $165.51 per month for 48 months. Okay. What's the total amount to be paid? Right. Well, the total amount to be paid will be the down payment plus the sum of all the payments. The down payment is $798. And we've got each payment is $165.51. Okay, and there are 48 of them, so we multiply that by 48. And that gives you the total amount paid, which is $8,742.48. Okay. Part B, what is the amount of interest? Okay, so the amount of interest will be basically the sum of all the monthly payments minus the amount financed, right? The difference between those. So the amount financed is the selling price minus the down payment, right? So 6,498 minus 798. This is the amount you're borrowing. That's $5,700. When you pay back your loan, you're paying back 48 payments of $165.51, right? 165.51 times 48 equals 7,944.48, right? 5,700 is the amount you're borrowing. 7,944.48 is what you're paying back. The second number is bigger than the first number. The difference between those two numbers is the amount of interest, right? So you would take the 7,944.48 and subtract 5,700. The answer's up there, 2244.48. So that's how you would find that, okay? Interest rate. How do you find the interest rate? Well, you'd use the simple interest formula. I equals P R T. Okay. The amount of interest, you plug in for I. That's the 2244.48, right? That's the number we found in part B. Principal is the amount borrowed, which is 5,700. Oopsies, 5,700. R, the interest rate, is what you're trying to find. You don't know what that is. T is the time in years, which it says 48 months. 48 months is 4 years, right? So we put 4 in, and then we just solve for R using a little algebra. 2244.48 equals 5,700 times 4. That equals 22,800 times R. Divide both sides by 22,800, and you would get R equals 0.0984 or 9.84%. Okay. So that's the interest rate. APR, I'm going to leave that one to you. There is a specific formula, and it's a pretty simple formula. If you refer to section 11.2 in the textbook, you should be able to find that. And I believe I saw a similar problem where you successfully calculated the APR, so it's the exact same formula. I'm gonna, if you have any questions on that, let me know, but there's a pretty simple formula in there. In fact, that exact same formula is going to be used in 16. Okay. What is the annual percentage rate? Okay. In fact, I'll just give you the formula right here, right? So the formula for APR, and this is in your book too, 2 times N times R divided by N plus 1, okay? N, capital N here is the number of monthly payments, right? If we come over here, it says 48 months, so that means N equals 48. Okay. R is the interest rate. If we come up here and look, it says 10% interest, right? So you'll plug in R equals 10% or 0.10. Okay, so you just plug those two numbers into this formula, calculate the APR. And that's the exact same formula you'll also use for problem 15 to find the APR, except in 15, your interest rate is 9.84% instead of 10%, right? I think the number of payments was still 48, though, in that problem. Okay. What was the last one you asked about? Was 17. Karen and Wayne need to buy a refrigerator because theirs just broke. Unfortunately, their savings account is depleted and they will need to borrow money in order to buy a new one. Sears offers them an installment loan at 13% add-on rate. If the refrigerator at Sears costs $1,558 plus 5% sales tax, and Karen and Wayne plan to pay for the refrigerator for 3 years, what is the monthly payment? Okay. So it's similar to the one we did earlier where we found monthly payment. Okay, let's see. Let me just see if I can. Yeah. So I'll kind of just get you started on this one, but first of all, we have to figure out the amount borrowed, which is the purchase price plus the sales tax. So it's going to be 1558 plus 5%, 0.05 times 1558. Okay. That works out to be 1,635 and 90 cents. Okay. And so that's the amount borrowed, right? And then you got to figure out the amount of interest, and you do that using the simple interest formula, PRT. The principal that you'll plug in is this, the $1,635.90. Interest rate is given as 13%, so you'll plug in 0.13. Time is given as 3 years, so you'll just plug in T equals 3, right? So 1635.90 is the principal, R is 0.13, T is 3. Work that out and then add the interest on to the principal, right? The principal plus the interest would be the total amount that they would have to pay back with the loan. And then we would take that total and divide it by 36 because it's a monthly payment for 3 years, right? So 3 years would be 36 months. So there's 36 monthly payments, all of equal size. So once we find the sum of the principal plus the interest, we would divide that by 36 to find the size of the payment. So I hope that steers you in the right direction, but feel free to reach out with any more questions. Thanks.